LEGO has released hundreds of clone troopers throughout the years, and it is widely considered that the 501st Legion is the most beloved line of LEGO clone troopers. I decided to look at every LEGO Star Wars 501st clone trooper and rank them from worst to best, including named characters such as Fives and Captain Rex, as well as the 332nd troopers because they're basically a branch of 501st. The only character not included is Captain Rex in his Rebels variant, as it doesn't fit with any other minifigure in this list, although I still consider it a very good minifigure. Jumping right to the lowest spot, I have the latest 501st minifigure, being the standard trooper with helmet holes. This figure appeared in the 2024 Bark Speeder Escape set and is considered the worst 501st trooper on this list, mainly because of the helmet holes. Although I don't necessarily think helmet holes are bad, but there are similar figures that just look much better, and I couldn't put any figure in a worse spot than this one. The 501st officer from the 2023 Battle Pack follows shortly after, and once again this is a good minifigure, but has a few fatal flaws that make it one of the more hated modern Star Wars minifigure. Despite the helmet holes, this minifigure has a printed waist cape, which really doesn't work as good as the standard cloth piece that we all know and love. I think if it wasn't for the missing waist cape, this could have been a really good LEGO Star Wars character. The next minifigure many of you might be surprised to see so low, but I have the Jet Trooper from the 2025 First Battle Pack in the third lowest position. Despite this being an excellent minifigure, this is one I personally don't like, mainly because I don't like the 501st Jet Trooper in the first place. The red markings on the helmet looks a bit strange, and I would rather have seen any other specialist type trooper appear in that set. Captain Vaughn is another character I really think LEGO didn't capture very well, as this figure doesn't really look like how I'd hope to see Vaughn in LEGO Star Wars. It is a good minifigure, but the current version of the sun visor doesn't look that great to me, and any character relying on a sun visor won't look that good with this current piece in my opinion. The way we got this minifigure also isn't ideal, as he is a named character appearing in a battle pack, but it isn't the end of the world because he looks pretty much like any standard trooper. From the same battle pack, I have the next minifigures, and that is the standard 332nd Trooper, both the one with the jetpack and without the jetpack, as they're identical other than the extra accessory. Both these minifigures are really good, and despite people hating on the 332nd Battle Pack, I like how these look despite having helmet holes and an unfinished print on the helmet. Overall, a great minifigure to add to your army, just overshadowed by many better clone troopers. Next I have a nostalgic trooper that many might want a bit higher on this list, but the standard 501st Trooper from 2013 follows after, and it is a brilliant older minifigure using the Clone Wars style helmet. This minifigure used to be extremely hard to get and grow your army with before the recent addition of modern clone troopers, and to this day it still looks really nice in any clone trooper collection. Despite being so widely loved, this figure doesn't have the necessary detail to compete with newer clone troopers. The final 332nd trooper I have on this list is the standard trooper from the 2020 Armored Assault Tank. Although I don't mind helmet holes, it is obvious that the troopers without them do look a little bit better, and that is certainly the case for the 332nd trooper. This figure was much harder to collect as it wasn't in a battle pack, but still an overall better clone trooper. We're starting to get to much better and unique troopers, as next I have the Heavy Trooper from the 2023 Battle Pack. This is a beautiful minifigure with a unique helmet and torso design, and it's a really cool addition to the lineup. The only issue I have with this figure is once again the sun visor. As I said before, this piece doesn't look as good as it can and ruins some clone troopers to me, but I still think this is one of the better minifigures on this list. The 501st Pilot, which is the only one of its kind, is the next one on this list, and despite being from all the way back in 2013, I think this is one of the best pilot minifigures we have ever seen. It has a unique helmet mold that hasn't been used ever again, and it is definitely time that LEGO makes an updated version of this clone pilot, perhaps in a new ARC 170 or a Z95 Headhunter someday. Next, I have the standard trooper from the 2025 First Battle Pack, and I can imagine many of you wondering why this minifigure is so high up on the list. But I genuinely think it is a near perfect clone trooper. It was the first modern style clone trooper and opened the doors to a whole new future for LEGO clone troopers, and the only way this figure could be better is with some added arm printing. But for this type of figure, it isn't something we can really expect to see. All in all, I think it is well deserving of its spot on this list. Reaching the top 5, I have the 25th anniversary ARC Trooper 5s. This is a minifigure I have always dreamt of seeing in a set as a kid, and that reality is just so amazing to me. Despite the few flaws such as the printed waist cape, the helmet print, and the shoulder pauldrons being a bit bad, I still think it is an amazing minifigure and one of my personal favorites. I really hope we do see an improved version of him in some kind of a set other than the 25th anniversary one, but I don't think it is very likely. The 501st Specialist is in my opinion the best unnamed clone trooper and is a near perfect minifigure. This is the best figure from the battle pack and the first figure to contain a macro binoculars headpiece. The simple markings on the torso looks very nice and the blue arms are also a very good addition to this minifigure. I'd love to own several of these minifigures as I think it is certainly one of the best clone troopers available right now. The top 3 is, as many of you might have guessed it, heavily based on Captain Rex, and the third position is taken by his Phase 1 variant. There has been 2 official versions of him in this form, both identical just with different accessories, and it's just a beautiful minifigure and many fans' favourite minifigure. Despite first being seen in 2008, it's definitely one of the best clone troopers ever made. Overall, great minifigure, but overshadowed by the next 2 versions of him. The runner-up for this list is the Phase 2 Captain Rex from 2013, and this is slightly a controversial opinion as I think many of you think he should be higher than the newer Captain Rex, but I don't think it is a better minifigure. It is very nostalgic from a very nostalgic set, but doesn't outperform the latest version of Captain Rex. 2023 introduced what I think is the best 501st minifigure, and that is indeed Captain Rex in his modern style. Releasing in the UCS Venator and later in the smaller Y-Wing Microfighter set, this figure has received a lot of attention in the LEGO community recently. It has printing all around, including arm printing that looks very good, and the only real issue with this minifigure is the printed waist cape. But I can look past it because I really just think this is a wonderful minifigure, and I'm glad many fans are able to obtain this character despite the promised exclusivity. And there you have it. That is the ranking of every 501st Trooper LEGO has ever made. Let me know what you think and whether you agree or disagree with this list. I'm really excited to see your thoughts. Other than that, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.